All right, the little light is on, and oh my goodness, the phone is going off. Silence that puppy. Come on. All right, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Hope your week is going well. Thank you for joining in this lovely Tuesday afternoon. And before we get into this, can we still call it breaking news? It's within a couple hours. We can call it breaking news. Came out a few hours ago. Before we get into this breaking news, I just want to remind you, if you're new to the channel, there's plenty more of this where that came from. If you dig the topic, go check it out. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when more of my content hits your screen. Let's talk about this. This is exciting. And I've been a big supporter for almost, I'd say, a consistent year now, talking about Impact Wrestling getting back on its feet again ever since, I'd say, last fall, earlier this year, whatever, making positive moves for its roster, rebuilding its fan base. And this is just another great example of them working towards building, just building this brand up positively, especially with the Twitch special that they just had with the, Rise? The Rise of the Knockouts with the group called Rise out of, I think it's out of the Midwest, but I think they kind of go all over the place, but they just did some tapings in the Chicago area with their new champ and new multi-year signing knockout from Impact Wrestling, Tessa Blanchard. That's incredible. The caretaker says Phoenix versus Swan was unreal. Yes, it was. But right now we're talking specifically about the knockouts. But thank you for chiming in. I do appreciate it. The news came out a few hours ago. Here, I'll quote it. It's so elegantly. It was on here. I'm looking up the Instagram post. It says, breaking: Tessa Blanchard will continue to prove she's undeniable in the knockouts division as she has signed a long-term contract with Impact Wrestling. Now, as far as details and how long this long-term is, I do not know. I'm sure we'll find out in the future. Although, I mean, that's really here nor there. And from what I've heard from other news sources, it's multi-year, as in more than one. So we'll assume for now that it's at least a 2-year contract, and that's great. That's great, with the additions that they've been doing ever since the whole merger with the AAA and that company and Noah and everything. You got the inclusion of Taya. You got Rosemary, who's been kicking ass. You got Allie. Not everyone's behind Allie. And I personally just became a fan of Allie's, I'd say, recently. I wasn't really a fan of hers. I didn't feel like she was, I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't feeling it. But I feel like what she's been doing with her, how they've been booking her and how she's been wrestling, she's really been kicking ass, They brought back some older faces like Katarina. I always screw that one up. Katarina's back, and some people may frown with that. It's like, okay, but she's very talented. Whenever you can get a person that's been with your company before to shine light on a women's division, the knockouts division, it's not a bad thing. It's the equivalent, in my opinion, of bringing back someone like Trish Stratus or a Mickey James, to WWE. And Mickey may not be doing a lot, but she's been working. She's been doing what she's been doing well, no matter where she is. But it's nice to see Katarina back. And it said that, she was knockouts champ, two-time knockouts champ. And I wasn't watching when she was. But that's okay. I'm a big fan now, and I'm watching this brand grow. Who else do they have? Rebel. Oh, Caretaker says Rebel. Yes, Rebel. From what she was in the menagerie, I believe that's what they call it. And now she's just doing what she's doing solo. She's doing great as well. She had a great match with Katarina. Now there's another new girl that's debuting this Thursday. Shotzi, I can't think, I'm going to screw up her name. Shotzi Blackheart, I believe is her name. And she also was supposed to be featured on this Rise Twitch special that was just this past weekend, but she got injured. But we will see her this Thursday. It's another one that I'm hoping that once she's healed up in the next few months or whatever it takes to get her injury healed up better, polished her off again. She's going to be another one, hopefully, that will shine on a consistent basis. Just this company has just been doing so many positive things up and down, sideways, left and right with their roster. And the fact that they have signed Tessa Blanchard, a talented young woman in her young 20s, I don't remember how old she is, to a multi-year contract. And nowadays, a lot of people, I think, have been shying away from contracts depending on what you want to accomplish in the wrestling industry. Some people are just floating all over the world. Guys like Matt Cross, he's in Lucha Underground, but he just spent the last several weeks in Europe in just killing it all over the world. So they're not tied down. But if they have a championship, they go back to those places on a regular basis and, keeping the fan base alive wherever they go. And Tessa Blanchard has been a great example of that. She is now the Rise Women's Champion. They call it something else, right? The Phoenix? Something with the Phoenix. I apologize. Caretaker says, get Charlotte. You can have the horsewomen. Yeah, with all the news and rumors that were going around about Tessa as of pretty recently, before she ended up in April on Impact Wrestling TV, there was news out there that she was supposed to sign with the WWE. And for whatever reason, if it had to do with her breakup, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm sure it'll come out eventually somewhere, somehow, some way. And if it doesn't, whatever, we don't have to know every little nitpicking thing of their lives. Let's just enjoy them for what it's worth on television, we don't have to know, when they go to the bathroom 15 times a day or whatever. It's this is their life. This is how they decide to make a living. And as a pretty firm supporter of Impact Wrestling, I'm ecstatic about this. I'm really excited. This is definitely a positive for the company, and it just secures the future, I think, for so many others. Honestly, when you keep someone like that on your TV, it helps everyone, because it brings so many more things to the table. It's okay, look, you think about what matches you want to have, what matches the fans want to see in the future, rivalries. They just showed how much they're investing in her as far as Impact joining with Rise and making her their champion. And that's unfortunate for who was supposed to headline, because the number one contender and the champ both have the same injury within days of each other and could not perform. So they had to scramble and figure out what they were going to do. And they still put on a, minus technical difficulties, they put on a great show. And and so I'm hoping they can bring in even more of those faces. Why not? Saraya Knight, if she's traveling all over the world, why not bring her in for a set of tapings? Mercedes Martinez, who is also part of the, I almost said Cruiserweight Classic. Dear God. It's water here, folks. I swear. It's too early for beer. Oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Wait. Oh, it's after 5 o'clock. Never mind. It completely shoots that down. Mercedes Martinez, another veteran in the women's wrestling world. Hey, we got some more chatting going on here. I see a double turn between Tessa and Madison. That's really interesting, D-Rocks. By the way, welcome to the chat. Thank you for chiming in there. That is interesting. We could see something like that. You never know. I mean, a lot of people, I've heard, as long as you bring that up, let's talk about it for a second. I've heard a lot of people talk about how they're a little confused and taken back by this whole babyface push of Madison Rayne. I mean, I get it. You've got X amount of heels in the company. You want to bring someone back. Okay. Like, for example, I'm sure this might have been the same with Katarina. I can't imagine she was always a babyface like she is now. I imagine when she was champ before in TNA, I imagine she was a heel. That's a guess, but I would happen to think I'm correct on that one if I had to take a guess. Taya Valkyrie versus Tessa, maybe make Taya turn face. Yeah, that would be one I would love to see. We'll have to wait and see. The only thing I wish they would do is have the announce team by the ring. Well, they Jerry's in the chat. What's up? What they do is, I think they tape some of it live when they do the tapings, and then whatever else comes after that, as far as the episodes, they tape them at their headquarters. Kind of like how Jim Ross and I can't think of his name. The guy that's with Jim Ross. D-Rock says, Shotzi wasn't injured. Her and Tessa are facing off at Slammiversary for the Phoenix. That's interesting. I have not heard that. I thought I heard the owner of Rise say that both the number one contender, again, I'm sorry, what's her, I can't think of her name. I can picture her. A lot of these girls are new to me, but Shotzi Blackheart I've been a fan of for a while because I used to watch her on some show on Flow Slam when I had Flow Slam within the last couple of years. That's how I became a fan of hers on the indies. I don't remember who it was. Some show on Flow Slam, I forget. But I'll have to look into that. That's interesting. I did not know that. So maybe they're keeping something hush hush or something. But I'm pretty sure she's injured. We'll see. But nonetheless, yeah, the Knockouts division in Impact Wrestling is incredible. Yeah, she was at the tapings. So we're going to see her this Thursday, but I don't think we're going to see her for a while. And maybe that was something they did originally have planned, but who knows? With Taya, Rosemary, Allie, Tessa, and all the others they bring back. And some of these girls, they're just bringing back for like a set of tapings, to fill up some matches. But, and I don't know who they all have under contract. But if they've got the money and they've got the talent, there's, yeah, it's smart to try to get them under some kind of contract because, and I'm sure if there is interest in a certain product, or I should product, certain talent, I'm sure that the multi-billion-dollar contracts at WWE are very tempting, but that's another discussion for another time. But, if you believe in who you're working for, and from what I've heard, it's a night and day difference from how it used to be, especially with Cyrus and Don Callis and Scott D'Amore. I've heard nothing but positive from interviews and stuff. Yeah, welcome Yandis to the chat. We got a few other people here. I want to know how you keep your head smooth like that, man. What do you use? I just use an electric razor. I was using a blade for a while, but now I just use an electric razor, and I've gotten really lazy, as you can tell. But I try to keep some of it trimmed. So, I had a goatee this long during Christmas, and then I shaved everything off and grew this back. And I never know what the hell I'm doing with my beard. I change it up here and there. But thanks for noticing. I wax. No, I'm kidding. Oh, what else is going on with the chat here? And then we'll wrap this up. Is Impact better than WWE? And that's a really loaded question. It depends on who your favorites are. I don't cover WWE hardly at all anymore. I still have a lot of favorites like Dean Ambrose, the guys in the Shield, a lot of the women I like in the WWE. It's just what they've been doing is not interesting me. Their storylines, for example, what I saw the other night of Kevin Owens being in a porta potty and being tossed in a stage, that's a perfect example of how their show's going. And I'm not saying that's the only thing they're doing. I love NXT. I'm very curious about the NXT UK stuff because it's something fresh. It's something new and exciting. And a lot of those guys I was becoming fans of while I had Flow Slam. So I'm very curious to see what NXT Flow Slam is going to do and what this new WOS wrestling is going to do, because both of them have a lot of faces I've become fans of. What else is going on here? I heard Tennille Dashwood might be okay. So to wrap up, to answer that, it depends on what aspects you're talking about between Impact and WWE. As far as storytelling and wrestling, I would say Impact is knocking it out of the park. Their storytelling is consistent lately. I love the rivalries. I love the fresh faces they're bringing in. It's hot stuff. It's what everyone's that I see is talking about. I heard Tennille Dashwood might be leaving Women of Honor for Impact. That's interesting. She's got a pretty good following. I think it depends on how much Impact and Ring of Honor are willing to work together. I would love to see the two, start a thing, kind of like how Lucha and Impact did over WrestleCon weekend. Yes. Don Callis is the life the show. Yeah, Don Callis has been great. Jerry's messages retracted. Okay, well, anyways, so yeah, that's gonna wrap up this one. Thank you so many. Wow, so many people joined in live. That's tremendous. It really makes me feel good. Thank you. I'm very humble, thankful. Welcome to everyone. So yeah, and by all means, if you're watching this after the fact, this will be up on rantwithant.com afterwards as part of my reporting on Impact Wrestling stuff for rantwithant.com. Ant's been killing it with his boys and starting a whole new game over there. This is a good time for a live stream. Yeah, everybody's coming home from dinner eating, and hey, I just figured I'd throw this on here. I wanted to get on here earlier, but I was busy. Had errands to run, and now I'm home. I'm about to go cook some dinner. And Caretaker says, "You do a great job. Keep it up." Thank you for the love. thank you. I really appreciate that. I feel like the channel has been on an upswing lately. It's all just, you know, it goes in spurts. I get a couple subs here and there, some likes, some comments. This is great. I love this. So yeah, like I said, if you're new to the channel, there's plenty more where that plenty I need some dinner. There's plenty more of that where this came from. Go check it out. Give it a like. Smash that sub button while you're at it, and ring that bell for notifications, because God knows YouTube is doing some crazy stuff. I just had a video of mine go from like 50 views to 120 views down to 80 some views. I don't know what YouTube's doing, but whatever. That's another topic for another time. I love YouTube. No, really, I do. But thank you so much all for tuning in. Love Tessa Blanchard. She's killing it. I subbed when you reviewed about the impact with Killer Cross. Thank you. Thank you. That's another one that they brought in that I've been waiting for a couple of years to get on TV on a regular basis. So we got Killer Cross on Lucha Underground. That footage will be coming soon. Trust me. And Killer Cross on a weekly basis on Impact Wrestling. Unfreaking believable. The talent pool in Impact Wrestling is blowing up. Perfect. Two perfect examples right there. Tessa Blanchard, Killer Cross. And if you're a new and or fair weather fan of Impact Wrestling, and you're tired of seeing people get pushed off the stage in porta potties, perfect time, folks. Seriously. I'm trying to be punctual here. Porta potties. Poopy TV. All right, we're wrapping this one up. I've been goofy long enough here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave your comments below if you're watching this after the fact. Your thoughts on Tessa Blanchard being signed to a multi-year deal for Impact Wrestling. Thank you, folks. We'll have some music-related videos that I really need to get back in the swing of doing. Some stuff coming up either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a good night.